The love letter that wasn't mine. I never thought a love letter could haunt me until I found one that wasn't meant for me. I was working late, trying to catch up on some reports when I stumbled across the envelope, tucked between the pages of a book my wife had left on the kitchen counter. The handwriting was unmistakably hers, but the words? They were not for me. The letter started like any other love letter, but the more I read, the more my stomach twisted. My dearest, I've never felt so alive with you. You know exactly how to make me feel like I'm floating, just like the first time I met you. I froze, my heart hammering. We've been together for nearly 10 years, but I've never heard her talk like this. She always loved me, of course, but this was something else. Something new. I glanced over at her, still asleep on the couch, her favorite blanket draped over her. The room felt suffocatingly silent, and my mind raced, trying to piece together the sudden unease. The way the letter spoke to someone else, someone who wasn't me, it didn't sit right. But I couldn't ask her now. It was 2 a.m., and she looked so peaceful. I put the letter back, but it gnawed at me. Who is she writing to? My heart started pounding faster as the pieces of the puzzle I hadn't noticed before clicked together. There were small changes in her behavior lately. Texts she'd quickly swipe away when I walked in. Her phone locking itself whenever I entered the room. The way she'd suddenly start humming whenever I asked about her day. The next day, I tried to act normal, pretending the letter hadn't shaken me. I walked into the living room and caught her staring at her phone screen, her fingers twitching nervously when she saw me. She quickly placed the phone face down, as if she were hiding something. When I asked her who she was texting, she smiled too quickly. Just work stuff, she said. Something about the way she said it felt off. Later that night, after I convinced myself I was overreacting, I decided to confront her. I sat her down on the couch, holding the letter, and asked her point blank, "Who is this letter for?" Her face turned pale. She opened her mouth to speak but couldn't find the words. Her eyes flickered between the letter and me. Then she said, almost too softly, "It's nothing. Just a letter I wrote years ago. It's nothing." But I knew it wasn't from years ago. It felt too recent. And then, her next words chilled me to the bone. "You didn't see the second one, did you?" I stared at her, my mind reeling. The second one? She didn't elaborate. Instead, she stood up, and for the first time, I saw the faintest trace of panic in her eyes. "I need some air," she said, before slipping out the door, leaving me alone with the terrifying question of who that letter was really for. I never saw her the same way again. She came back, eventually, but I could tell she was hiding something. I started looking through her things, finding more things out of place. Her phone. A locked journal. More letters. All with the same name on them, written in the same flowing handwriting. And now, as I sit here, staring at the empty chair where she used to sit, I can't shake the feeling that she's not coming back this time. That maybe, the love she felt for me was never real. I wasn't the man she loved. It was someone else. Someone she's been hiding from me all along. And I still don't know who.